Hi, my name is Jess and this is Knitting on Sweater Avenue. This is a knitting podcast where I talk about things I've recently finished, things I'm working on, new yarn, and that's basically it. I have a few finished objects, a bunch of whips, most of which I can't work on, a series of whips that I don't have access to anymore, and then at least one new cast on and a swatch for another new cast on. So just for a bit of background, this is a new background for me, but will only be appearing for this one video because this is a Airbnb I'm staying in between places to live. My fiance and I have just moved from Australia to the UK, and that's a whole other thing, but as a result I left a few of my whips back in Australia, and then there's been a few drama is probably the wrong word, but a few things that mean that I can't work on a few of my whips right now, and I have posted a few of my whips to me that will come, but it means that I have sort of a bit of a reset. But I wanted to film an update while I had a few things to share, and then as hopefully I will be able to get into a bit more of a rhythm. But so I have two finished objects that I can show you and one that I can't. So I will start with one of the ones that I can. So this is the Moby sweater. This is the second time I've knit this, and this was and is for my fiance Ben, and it's finally finished. I do have a video that I will be releasing at some point in the near future, I hope, going through, because I made quite a few changes to the pattern, and I also completely ripped out. I had knit this entirely and I ripped it out and knit it again for a slew of reasons, but this is the successful second edition, and it's got a cute little handmade tag. I don't know if that will be reversed in the camera, that I bought from Morris & Sons in Melbourne. But yes, this is the Moby sweater, knit in pure Gynt in the colour, I think it's blue, denim blue or blue melange, but it is using reclaimed yarn, and I bought the pattern to knit the first time, so the cost for this one is essentially $0. And I knit between a extra small and a small using a 4.5mm needle, which is upper needle size from the pattern. Did I say this is the Moby sweater by Petite Knit? And I love it. I made a bunch of changes to basically just doing different twisted stitches on the either side and a few other things. But if you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them, or I will release a video about this. But it has been such a hit. He's worn it so many times since I finished, partly because we have been in this much colder environment, and it's just fabulous. So that is finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 I also did wear, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But these are my socks. This is just the vanilla sock. I think it's the Crazy Sock Lady socks on 9-inch circulars, and I am using a Tiny Human Knits, the Scrappy Quilt colorway. So total cost for this project, nothing for the pattern because I used a free pattern, and the yarn itself cost, have I put this on here? Yeah. I spent 83 Australian dollars on it, including shipping and everything else. But I love the self-striping sock, is so nice. I just think that's so cute and fun. And I decided to have them not be completely matching. So this one starts on the blue and this one starts on the pink, but I set them up so that they're sort of offset by one row, but they're pretty similar. I did really like the way this color sort of blended in with that, and I couldn't quite do that with this one, but that's just a bit of fluff, but they're so cute. My main struggle is that I often don't reach for them because they're so nice and I don't want to ruin them, but I need to actually wear them because otherwise why did I bother making them? I knit these 64 stitches on as 2.25mm needle, and I knit them using the 9-inch circular and then magic loop for the toes. But yeah, just a pretty basic, I did 2x2 rib cuff and German twisted cast on, but they're a basic little sock. And my last finished object I don't have with me because I finished it months ago and I left it in Australia well, I gifted it. One of my good friends is having a baby in July, which is soon, and I knit the Holger set, which I will hopefully put in a picture here. I used the Morrison Sons Empire 4-ply, and so where is this? The Holger set. So the pattern cost me, oh my goodness, my thing is being so weird. I used 6 different colors of the Empire 4-ply. I was like studious with updating my Ravelry, so all of the details are in the Ravelry, and the pattern cost me $11, so I totally spent $88. But part of that was that I bought those balls of yarn, and then I knew they were just about 13 Australian dollars each, but I knew that I wouldn't use all of them in that, and I was also using them for this other cardigan, which I will show you, for a different baby. And so even though I've attributed $88 to that, it's not all going. There's extra yarn, basically. So that was that. That was such a cute pattern. I did I sort of did greens and creams and greens. I think it matches the nursery. And it was such a fun knit. I followed it to a T. I think I knit the 0 to 3 month size, because the baby is due in July, and that is the Australian winter. So I was like, hopefully they can wear it straight away. But equally, as I told them when I gave it to them, like, if they put the baby in it once and then never again, that's fine with me. It's so cute. I just like, yeah. I really enjoyed knitting it. And as a result, I've got a few other baby knits that I will show you. But yes, the main piece of feedback I got on gifting that was, can I have one in my size? So maybe that will be coming, we'll see. Although by the time if I finish a jumper for mum, baby will have grown out of theirs. So there is that. So those are all of my finished objects. For my whips, I will show you, there are a bunch that you've already seen. There's 1, maybe 2 that you haven't seen, but I'm stuck on 3 of them, I think, and I will explain why. So starting with the first one. Let me just get it out. So, it is attached, sort of. So, this is my book club cardigan. Oh, and I'm so excited for it to be finished, which it is obviously not. I have got 1 full sleeve. I have finished the body, and then I've done 1 diamond. But I ran out of yarn. So I bought this yarn from Croft yarn, which is in Scotland, when I was on holiday here. Yeah, I guess here, holiday in Scotland. I'm not Scotland, I'm in England, but I was on holiday in the UK last year, and I just sort of bought it from a small shop, and I didn't know its yardage or how much I would need, or I didn't know what I was going to knit. So I just bought 3 skeins, and this is like yarn that the person who owned the shop shore. I don't know if they shore it themselves, but it's like their sheep that they got shorn and then turned into yarn. And I thought that was so cool. So I started knitting, and I ran out of yarn. Now I have ordered more yarn, and it's arrived, but to my friend's house. And I haven't been able to catch up with them since they have gotten it. I think they've got a parcel, which I think I addressed it to them. I don't know if they've ever did. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's the yarn, and they have it, but I just haven't been able to do it. So I haven't been able to work on this for like 4 weeks. I like finished up the yarn that I had. I am holding it with, just grab it out, the Katia Concept Mohair 50 Shades. I think I have, yeah, this is my last skein. I hope that will be enough. I'm actually not really sure, but if I need to get more of this, that is certainly easier. And then I have my buttons already. Do I have them here? No. Hopefully I have them somewhere, because I ripped them off another cardigan that I knit that I'm ripping apart. But just briefly, so I have currently spent on this one, the Book Club cardigan, my total spend at the moment is $181, but that does not include the new skein that I've bought, which I think was another £20. Once I get that, I'll add it to my calculations. A few changes I have made. So I don't know if I didn't check pattern that closely, but I did do the cables going in opposite directions down the back, and then I did the cables going in opposite directions down the sleeves. So I just did one sleeve and then matched it with the other sleeve. I've also done a small, I think I did short rows. Yeah, I did a small number of short rows to drop the shoulder a little bit of the sleeve because it just wasn't going over my shoulder as much as I was expecting. And then last but not least, when I was doing the body, I was watching a lot of videos by two pearls in a pod. What are they? Sarah and Paige from this like an Australian. I think they're Two Pearls in a Pod. I think they are. And I think Sarah specifically talks about this technique where you get down to the ribbing and then you do increases and go down an extra needle size in order to get more even looking ribbing. And I have tried that. So I did increases, it was about every 6 or 8, but I did them so that each of these stitches was still a knit, like the knit columns were still a knit, and then the edge stitches on these were still knits. That's how I arranged it. So I sort of did, I think like one over here, one in here, one, and then as continued. And I am stoked with how that's worked. Sorry, just ignore this random strand. I think it looks so cool. I think like I haven't blocked it. I guess that's something I could have done while I was waiting, but let me hold it up. But it just sort of lays really flat and it doesn't cinch, and I don't want it to cinch. So that I'm really happy with that. I think that looks great. And I've tried it on a few other ones as well, and I think it's pretty even. So I dropped down to I've knit the whole thing on a 4mm needle, and I dropped it down to a 3 for the ribbing. So yeah, that is that. That is my first blocked cardigan. No, that's all I have. All I have is blocked cardigans. And by blocked, I mean I can't work on them, not they are blocked and washed. Now let's do a quick baby knit. Okay, so this is my second blocked sweater cardigan. This is the Cleo cardigan by Petite Knit again. Oh, the Sari Nordland. Sari Nordland was the book club cardigan, if you didn't know that. And I'm stuck on this one too. So you'll have to excuse the slightly weird way I have attached this. I think I wanted the needles back, so I did attach them together. This is the Cleo cardigan. This is using the Morris & Sons Empire 4-ply. Mostly, the yellow is not that. That was just me being fun and fresh. But it's in the same colours that I knit the Holger set out of. This was all my remainder. I bought one additional of the cream, and I'm holding it double. So this is a DK. I'm knitting this on a 4mm needle. And this is for a friend in the UK who has just had their second child, and like they had them about 2.5 weeks ago. But the UK winter isn't for a few months. So this, I'd have knit the 6 to 9 month size. The issue is that I have run out of the cream yarn. And because Morris & Sons is an Australian company, I was like, what am I going to do? But then as it turns out, one of my parents' friends are coming over and we're going to catch up with them. So I ordered 2 more balls because I ran out of the cream and this green, I think. Yes, I think I ran out of this green. And I ordered 2 balls to their house and so they're bringing them. So I will get that this week. So I think what will happen is that I will go from not being able to work on any of my cardigans to having access to all of the yarn for all of them in the space of about 3 days. And that won't be great because I've been wanting to work on them, but as a result of this, I've worked on a few other things. And so I'm going to end up in a state of chaos. But it's such a cute pattern. I added stripes. I don't think it has stripes, similar to the Olga sweater by Petite Knit, which is not a raglan, but anyway, has 4 row stripes. And then because I was running out of yarn, I didn't match the stripes, which was maybe a mistake on the sleeves, but I still think it's cute. And so I have nearly finished this sleeve and I still have to do this whole sleeve, and then I have to do the all the collared bits, which I'm going to do in the cream. So this is a very cute sweater, and I hope they will like it for their baby. But again, I am enjoying knitting it. They don't have to use it, like it's totally fine, I don't mind. Tying into that, I might show you a whip that you haven't seen, because this little baby has a big brother. And oh goodness, I'm losing things on all fronts. And I have made a lot of progress on a little gift for their brother. One moment. Okay. So, if this is for the little brother, this is for the big brother. So they're kind of matching. They're sisters, not twins. Well, they're brothers, not twins. This is the cross sweater by Petite Knit. I do have to admit that I love a Petite Knit pattern for kids. I haven't looked that far and wide for other designers, because I really like them. Maybe one day I will. I feel like I look further afield for knits for adults, but there's so many little baby knits that I want to knit, and they're all adorable. So this is the cross sweater by Petite Knit in the size 3 to 4 years, and I think it's adorable. I am using Drops Karisma, and oh my goodness, and I chose this the same reason I chose the Empire 4-ply, because they're superwash yarns, and so I have no intention of giving parents yarns, jumpers they need to hand wash or be delicate with. And this is soft. I think hopefully he won't mind it, but again, I do think that 3 and 4 year olds have opinions, and so if he hates it, it's fine. I don't mind. I have enjoyed knitting it tremendously, but this child does not need to wear it if he doesn't want to. I really like the colours I've chosen though. I think that's so cute. I have finished both sleeves, obviously. I sort of smashed this out because I haven't had anything else to work on. I've realised that I do have one other one to work on, but it's annoying me, so I haven't been working on it for months. But this is like, and it's because it's a kid's sweater, it's quite quick. And so I finished one ball of the cream on the body, and then I knit both of the sleeves, and then I'm back on the body. So I'm just working. And so I did each sleeve and then attached that yarn to the body. So I've got a lot more ends in there. I'm feeling very proud of my insides, which look like the first sweater I knit with color work, the inside looks shocking because I thought I knew what you had to do, because I watched videos about how to do color work, and I thought I knew what to do to like make it all look even, and I was just completely wrong. And now this is just so pleasing to me, but hopefully it's not so, hopefully little fingers won't get caught. It's using, as you can tell, 4 colors. So they're, they're 1, 2, 3, and then there's a different, like a sort of dark green in the neck. And I don't know what else to say. I'm knitting this on a 4mm needle with the ribbing on a 3.5. And it's quite close to done. So I'm expecting to have this finished in the next few days, particularly while I can't work on anything else. And then once I get the yarn for the cardigan, then I can give them a baby sweater and a kid sweater. And hopefully they like it. I've actually never met this child. It's a bit complicated, but I've just been in Australia and he's growing up here. So I'm hoping to meet them and give them these, and hopefully they like them. So yes, that is actually my newest cast on. So yeah, anyway, my ordering is a bit weird. But, so I can work on that one. But now back to another one that I can't work on. Let me just grab the buttons. Okay. I didn't talk about how much that one cost, and I don't have the number off the top of my head because I bought the yarn in Norway while we were there, because for a series of reasons. But I will find out how much it cost and put it up here. I think I chose Drops because it was relatively cheap and a superwash yarn for a kid, because I think that's just my vibe. This one, here we go. Another sweater I'm blocked on. This is the Olga jacket by Petite Knit, and I've only sort of run out of yarn. So I am knitting it to pattern. I am doing a I have absolutely no idea what size I'm doing. Okay, hold up. Because I should know this, but this is another one of the ones that I have not been working on because I've run out of yarn. But I haven't actually run out of yarn. Okay, I'm off gauge. So I'm knitting the large and hoping for a size more like the small. Because I'm using West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft DK, I think, in one of the greens and creams. And I am using a 4mm needle, and I just like knit a swatch. I knit my swatch, and then I liked the way the fabric turned out, so I have changed the size so that it will still fit. And I am really happy with the fit. It's super cute. I did the same thing for the ribbing. I'm fairly certain that I did increases here. Yeah, I think. Now I feel crazy. Yeah, for sure. I definitely did increases. And so I went down to a 3mm for the body. And I have done all of my edgings. And including some nice little buttonholes in there, 1x1 rib. But I have run out of green, sort of. So what happens is I have 3 each of green and cream, but because we are between places, we flew over at the beginning of May, and we were staying with some friends for a few weeks, just exploring London. My fiance had never been here before, so it was just like, he had agreed to move, but he didn't know, and we were looking for houses. Well, not houses, obviously, it's London, looking for some apartments to live in. And then we went to Norway for 2 weeks on holiday. And then we came back and we went to the Cotswolds, and it's been lovely. And then now we're staying at an Airbnb for a bit of time. And then we're going back to stay with our friends. But as a result of this, we've sort of left 2 of our suitcases at our friend's place because we didn't need them, and we didn't need all those clothes. So we were just like packed into other smaller ones. But I think, hopefully, that my last ball of green on my skein is in one of those suitcases, because it's not here. I don't have any of the stuff that I've got with me, and I thought I had all my knitting stuff. I do have I collected all my knitting stuff together that I brought with me, and I put it all in the same suitcase except for apparently these balls. So I'm desperately hoping that when we get back there, which we're going back next week, that I will find my last green, and then I can finish this. Otherwise, I've lost it and I don't know where it is, and I have to order another one. But I'm like, it must be there. So that's why I'm sort of blocked on this one. But I'm stoked with how it's going. I've completely finished one sleeve. I really liked it. I did the whole thing on magic loop because we were away, and I wasn't expecting to get to the sleeves, so I didn't take my, like, I would normally do small circumference, and so I did it magic loop, which I normally, not that I hate, because I did it before I got the small circumference needles, but I just normally wouldn't do it because I have small circumference needles and I like using them. But I don't love magic loop. So anyway, I've got my needle still attached. I have one of my yarns. I'm just waiting for the other one, and then I will be back to finishing this one. But I think I'm going to get back, like on Sunday we go back to our friend's place, so I will get access to this yarn. On Tuesday we're seeing our friends who are like other friends who are bringing me the yarn from Australia, and then at some point, I don't know when we're seeing the other friends who I shipped the yarn to, but I'm gonna get inundated, and then I'm gonna have too many projects to work on, and then that's gonna go really well. Not. As I mentioned, we were in Norway, which was super fun. I don't have anything meaningful to show you. It was just great. We just like went hiking, and we did go to a lot of yarn shops, or mostly so many shops were not a yarn shop, but they sold yarn. But we went to one yarn shop, and I bought these buttons to go on here, and I think they're gonna be cute. They're more, even though they're going on the green bit, they're cream, and I think that's kind of fun. So I got one more than I needed, I think. I like having a spare one that I will stitch on as well. So there's that. And that, oh, here we go. And then there's the one project that I just haven't been working on for no apparent reason. So let me grab that. Ooh. All right. This one has just clearly been in my, like, I can't be bothered to work on it. I'm currently working on a 2.5 mil gauge on the ribbing, and it's just put it to the bottom of my pile. Even though I love it so much, every time I pull it out, I'm like, why am I not working on this? It's so cute. So this is my very hacked, see, it's been so long I can't even remember what the pattern is. It's Petite Knit. This has been a very Petite Knit heavy episode, I guess that's true. I've been heavy on the Petite Knit recently. Aros sweater. It is a hacked Aros sweater. Let me just quickly talk about how much it cost. Total project cost $262. Using a bunch of different yarns, but predominantly a Pasley knits one for the main colour. And I just haven't finished the ribbing. There's nothing more to say about that. I guess I just am not enjoying working on it that much. I'm doing combination ribbing on a 2.5mm needle, and I must be like nearly done. It's looking pretty cute, but it's just not, I just haven't done any meaningful work on it. And I've had all these other fun ones to work on. And so, yeah, I don't really have anything meaningful to update on that one. But because I have so many that are blocked, I decided I definitely need a new cast on. And I won't cast it on until I have finished the kid sweater, because I have the yarn for that and I can't finish that. And it was just another, it's just more stockinette. But one of the things we did when we were in Norway is we went to the Sandesgarn factory, which was really fun. Well, like, it was just a large yarn shop. I didn't actually go into the factory, but we made a day of it and we did this hike beforehand. So if you're in the area, we hiked Trollpicken, which was like quite fun, in a town called Egersund nearby. If I've mispronounced any of that, I'm really sorry. But we like planned a day around it, and we were ending up in Stavanger. But we hiked Trollpicken, and I really enjoyed it. And then we went to the Sandesgarn yarn factory, and a lot of it was just like normal yarn. Well, it was all sort of normal yarn, but they had the sale section, and I had a look in there, and because I knew what I wanted. What I wanted, I think I've talked about this before, is I want to knit the Air sweater by Ozetta, and I want to knit it in either Sandesgarn Pure Gynt or Sandesgarn Atlas in one of the like dark chocolate cocoa colours. And as it turned out, they had, I only have the one that I've been using for my swatch, they had Atlas in the sale section, so it was about half the price. So these were 32 krona instead of 64 krona. Now this is Norwegian krona, so the maths on that's a little bit complicated, but I will calculate the amount I spent on this particular yarn, and I will put it up here. But so I like ummed and ahed, and I compared, because they had, so this is, I think this is dark chocolate melange. I do, wait one moment. I have ball band. So yeah, this is dark chocolate melange. And then there's a Petite Knit colour in the Pure Gynt called Cacao Nibs, I think. And then there was like I don't know, this was the like in the there's something wrong box. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I was like comparing this one, like all of them. I made Ben hold them, and we like compared what all of the color options were in a sort of like very dark chocolatey brown. I ended up on this one, not in the least because it was the cheapest one, because it was on sale and the rest of them weren't. And I thought, like, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And I think it's the smart thing to do to save a bit of money. But I have knit my swatch on a 5mm needle, I think 5mm needle as the pattern calls for. I haven't actually bought the pattern yet, but I have my swatch ready to go. I need to block it. I will block it when I am blocking something else, and I'll just like chuck this in after when I'm ready. But I think it's gonna be great. Sandesgarn Atlas is quite fun because I think it's 70-30 Norwegian lamb's wool, merino wool. So 70% Norwegian lamb's wool, 30% merino wool, produced in Norway. And that was quite fun to buy in Norway. And I have been really wanting like a dark chocolate. The Air sweater just like took over my brain, and I really like the deep rib. If you've not seen it, I will put a picture of it in. It's a pattern by Ozetta, and I will be knitting the like small medium size, probably, or the small, it'll depend. I think I bought 15 of these at 32 krona each. That's gonna be for some fun maths. So yeah, that is my new swatch. And I have one other yarn to show you. I did get a few other yarns at the factory, but I will just show you those when I knit with them, because they were just like double Sunday, I think. And so I've got a few beanies that will come up, but anyway, they're a bit, anyway, I want to show you this one. This I got, oh, I love a sock yarn. Oh no, I forgot to show you one of my projects. Okay, after this I'll come back and show you my last project that I am actually getting progress on. This is, we went, after Norway, we went to the Cotswolds, and on the way to the Cotswolds we stayed in Oxford for a few days, and we popped into the Oxford yarn shop because I like going to yarn shops, and I picked up this sock yarn by Bird Street Yarns. This is the colour Kestrel. I think I have seen this before, and that's why I wanted it so badly. And it is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And I'm just so excited about it. I am going to pick up a matching mini from somewhere, because I'm going to knit a pair of socks for myself and also for my fiance, because he wanted them to, because he thought it was nice. And that's the other thing, I don't have a ball binder anymore. I think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to buy a cheap one, but until that, I probably won't cast on this anytime super soon, but I did want to show you. So this is the color Kestrel, and I think it's delightful. But that reminded me that I have one more whip that I have made progress on, and that is my socks. These are the Finest Fit socks by Lily Kate France, I think, where you have, maybe this side's a bit easier to show you, you do increases before you do your short row heel. And I am very close to finishing this one, and I am just doing the decreases on the other one. And because I am now back to work, well, I have a new job, but I am back to being employed. I have been working on this on the to and from the train, on the bus, getting to and from work. This is an Olivia and Oliver fibres yarn. Oops, sorry, I'm just dropping these on the floor. This is a slightly sketch setup. I'm sitting on a piano stool. This is an Olivia and Oliver fibres yarn. I think it's willow. And it's just a little pink with some yellow and green speckles, but I really like it. And it's been fun. I almost exclusively knit, what's it called? Heel, flap and gusset socks. But it's been fun, if slightly more challenging, trying something new. But other than that, I don't even think I looked at the pattern for the rest of it. Like, I did my German twisted cast on 2x2 rib. I did German twisted cast on and one row, I think, in the dark purple. I might do the tip of the toe, I haven't decided. I'm also not entirely sure where the purple is anymore, because that might be another, I have no idea where that is. Okay, these are the joys of moving internationally. I think just moving it all, actually, but moving and not taking everything with you. But those are my socks. So yes, thank you so much for getting to the end. I am hoping that I will settle down a bit over the next few weeks and I can film another update soon. I do have a few other videos that I had filmed, but I just need to edit, but it's just sort of like finding the time, what with, yeah, as I have said repeatedly, moving and being sort of unsettled. We've been living out of a suitcase for just over a month now, and we're going to continue living out of a suitcase for another month and a half before we finally move into our final flat that we're like properly renting, which is a little bit complicated and a little bit stressful, but luckily one of us has a job now, and so we can, lots of the everything else is going to be sorted and can be sorted, so that's good. I hope wherever you are having a good day, having a good knit in, and to our friends back in Australia, we already miss you so much, but I'm sure we'll talk to you soon, and hopefully you can enjoy still seeing my knitting updates. But yes, I will see you again soon, I hope, and otherwise I hope you're having a great day. Bye.